Hello and welcome. Very pleased to welcome back David Olsson, Vice President of Europe and Asia at BlockFi. Hi, David. How are you?
Hi, Paul. I'm very good. Thanks.
Good. Thanks for coming back. So you guys yourselves have been in the news recently. We saw that you launched a credit card, new credit card with Visa, which offers Bitcoin cashback, so to speak, or Bitcoin back, Sats back. Well, tell us a little bit about how that came about and what's going on there.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's something we're obviously thrilled about to get over the line. It's been in the works, and there's been a lot of people behind the scenes, toiling away over the last year to get it launched. We have a wait list now where people can sign up to get the card in Q1, and we've just seen thousands of people come on the wait list every day. And the card it's a credit card, not a debit card. We've seen some other companies in the space launch debit cards where users can spend their crypto. From BlockFi's perspective, obviously, with our client base being long-term holders or investors in crypto, we thought the best fit was a credit card where they can get Bitcoin rewards, and that's really, they want to collect more Bitcoin, not actually spend it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I guess there's not much use for air miles these days, so I think Bitcoin,
absolutely,
holding Bitcoins definitely makes a lot more sense at the moment. So that's very cool. But when as they earn their rewards, where are they actually held? The Bitcoins, is that a kind of a BlockFi wallet?
Exactly. So it's tied in with BlockFi's platform. So they'll open an account with BlockFi and then have the Bitcoin placed into the BlockFi account. And then they can start to earn interest on that. So they get a Bitcoin reward, and then they get interest on top of the Bitcoin reward, which is better better than most scenarios. Definitely. That you could
better find your average high street
financial
bank account.
Yeah,
definitely. No, like it. What jurisdictions does it cover at the moment? So I'm in the UK. Can I get one?
Yeah, unfortunately not yet. So it's only offered in the US. But we do want people internationally to sign up on the wait list so that we can see where the demand is and where we should launch next, and our next steps should be.
Okay, cool, very cool. And so back to the bread and butter stuff. What are we seeing in the lending markets now? How have things changed or adjusted over the last few weeks?
Sure. So we saw the dramatic move up in Bitcoin to all-time highs, and dollar rates followed that move up with rates skyrocketing for dollar borrows, and also reflected in the futures premium across in the CME and other overseas exchanges. With Bitcoin pulling back, we've seen the futures premium come in, but dollar rates have remained persistently high. On the coin borrowing side, for hedging or for shorting, we haven't seen a lot of action. It was quiet, obviously, during the run up, and it's still quiet, which is, if you just look at it from a technical standpoint, is somewhat of a bullish indicator. We're seeing retail still very interested in financing crypto and leveraging their crypto for various reasons, or to buy more for other uses, which is which we're also seeing as somewhat of a bullish indicator as well.
Sure, and I guess obviously the story of the last few months has been about more institutional adoption. We've seen those metrics from exchanges where kind of buy orders have been coming in and then quickly followed by Bitcoins being removed from exchanges, so indicating that that's long-term holders coming into the market. With your on the institutional side, are you seeing those same people happy to immediately loan out those coins as well? Is that putting pressure on the rates? Is that becoming just a natural strategy for people?
I think to some extent, yes, but I think that a number, particularly as we get to the end of the year, the institutions with the run up sort of stepped to the sidelines because they didn't want to get steamrolled, at least the market maker community. And then you're also seeing an effect of institutions just sort of cleaning up their balance sheets for year end. So right now we're seeing somewhat more of a retail driven market,
right,
at the moment.
Okay, and now that we kind of building up some kind of data points, because obviously the lending market is relatively new still. Are we seeing these as good indicators in terms of what the rates are telling us in terms of direction of the market, in terms of like the US dollar lending rate versus Bitcoin lending rate?
Yeah. So in the last run up, when we had the small pullbacks and the futures basis came down, dollar rates remained persistently high. So it seems like it's a bullish indicator. Obviously, at BlockFi, we're somewhat selling picks to the miners, so we don't make directional calls. But that's what it seems to be. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting stuff. So the other thing we were going to look at this week is around volatility. Something we're discussing this week on the show as well, because Crypto Compare have just launched a Bitcoin VIX, the first proper Bitcoin VIX index. So obviously, again, institutions coming in looking for better hedging strategies. So volatility is something they look at, and hopefully there'll be more instruments where they can hedge that volatility going forward. What are you seeing here, and maybe looking against tech stocks in general? How's Bitcoin comparing this year?
Yes, so we have a chart actually that our research team put together, and a small piece as well. Just for our institutional investor base and some of the crypto curious firms that we're talking to, comparing FAANG stock volatility to Bitcoin's volatility. And what you can see is that there's a long-term trend of Bitcoin's volatility coming down below or in line with FAANG stocks, which obviously gives the institutional community more comfort. So you've got that kind of the press and the headlines and even implied vols at, say, 80 to 100%. Realized historical vols peaked in March at 120% and have come down, and at times even touched 20. And so, probably from your option trading days, you divide the annualized volatility by 16 to get the daily moves. So right now, Bitcoin's moving in sort of a 1 or 2% average move. Whereas, in the March volatility would have implied, 5 or 6% or more daily moves. But Bitcoin's implied volatility, what the volatility that people think it will be, is much higher. So I think it's a really good piece to point out to investors that actually Bitcoin trades a lot like it is a new technology, and it's benefited from that trend in the market, and it's trading, at below or in line with FAANG stocks.
And what about gold? Because we've had this story that is Bitcoin finally replacing gold as the safe haven asset and the kind of inflation hedge? What's it looking like now against gold?
Yeah, so we looked back at the last 3 months. You can see a pretty wide disparity in performance between Bitcoin and gold, with Bitcoin, even with the recent pullback, outperforming gold, and a real rotation, or at least a rotation in sentiment as we're seeing it. Some of the family offices that we talked to, then this is kind of anecdotal, but still points to a trend. Some of the family offices that we talked to that are involved in gold mining are now saying, actually, we think we need to move into Bitcoin and perhaps Bitcoin mining, given that its status as a reserve asset is becoming more solidified. Right. So really interesting from sort of the bottoms up, and then obviously it's been in the press quite a bit that so-called digital natives or millennials are more entranced or more taking a better liking to Bitcoin for their portfolios and for diversification than gold.
Yeah, absolutely. And with their BlockFi credit card, stacking sats,
yes,
it makes more sense in the long run. Great stuff. David, fascinating as always. Thank you so much for joining us again, and look forward to having you back in the new year. Wishing you and the team a very happy and healthy holidays as well. So we look forward to seeing you soon.
Great. Thanks, Paul. You too.
Thanks. Cheers.